What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 610. I'm your host, Stevie, alongside Lincoln in studio.
610 in the studio. 610.
Believe it.
Jesus. Lord help us.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
We don't look a day over 30, honey, okay?
And that is the lovely and talented Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. It's so lovely to be with you tonight.
Yes, it's always fun being in studio, I think. Yes, and we have got a lot to talk about, including trans model. You know, the Victoria's Secret show came back after several years.
2019, I think, was the last one.
Right. I'm not even sure why it went away, but it came back with a vengeance. All the usual suspects, even your girl Tyra.
My girl Tyra.
In it. But what was kind of cool was there was two trans women models that were in it, and one of them is by the name of Valentina Sampaio. And she really just was so proud. She said, it makes me feel so seen, accepted, and valued for who I am as a person and as a professional. She just had so many great things to say about the diversity. But there was a lot of pushback online, of course, by anti-trans people like Riley Gaines, who labeled the show a drag show for featuring Sampaio and Kansani. And others called them men. That this is the first time there's men in the show. And it's just like, where are we now? Like, if this doesn't affect you, like, what do you care if there's two trans models? But I really feel like in our acronym for the last several years, it's the one transgender that are really, you know, they get no breaks. What do you think when you hear this about her pride, but then all this pushback?
There's nothing I can say that would move the needle. Like, my opinion would never move the needle, but what does move the needle in my perception of this is how many people actually reached out online and said something negative. Because it was probably 15, and 15 million loved it. It's like all the polling
Twitter.
right now. Like,
Twitter.
It's fucking Twitter and Reddit and all the things that make the world like focus on the cesspool teardown aspect instead of like, I cannot wait for us to turn a fucking page on, let's just focus on the positive, because there's a lot more positive than there is negative. I'm sure that everyone who was there loved them.
Oh, yeah.
And everything about all the models
they
and
look
Cher
fierce.
and all the performance. I'm sure that most people, the majority of people loved it and celebrated Vivienne Westwood. Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. Maybe
it started with a V. It was working.
That would be anyway. And I remember like when Gaga did the Vivienne Westwood. Oh my God, I did it again. The Victoria's Secret show.
Yeah.
And it was. Do you remember that?
I don't.
It was fabulous.
I bet she looked fierce.
I believe it was with the Joanne album, and she walked with them and did like 5 songs from the album. So to have Cher on there, I know that there was some criticism that Cher was wearing too much clothing at the Victoria's Secret show.
Okay. Cher,
again,
where was she to wear?
But I just did it myself.
Yeah.
I took that one fly in the ointment that had something negative to say and threw out the whole bottle.
Yeah.
Because that's one negative opinion. So that's all I can. Especially as we go into the election.
Yeah.
When everyone says a poll, I'm like, wait, I think it should be a mandatory federal law in the press that if you cite a poll, you must say how many people, where was it done, male, female, or if gender is weird, Democrat, Republican, like what just some basic because if you polled 75 people, who the fuck cares? If you polled 75 million, that's a thing, right? So
and I don't know anybody.
I don't know how else to.
Right,
and I just want them to be celebrated.
I would just want to say, like with polls, it's like who takes these polls? I've never.
I take a poll very.
I take other polls, but I've never.
A truth or dare joke, and
No, I've never seen Truth or Dare.
Ram it up your ass.
Are we going to watch it?
You've never seen Truth or Dare, and I'm sitting across the table from you.
I'm surprised
I
that
use
you're
that
not-
joke all the time. We used to use it a lot on this show, and I had to stop because I'm like, okay, I keep recycling that. But yeah,
It's my fresh joke, just so everybody
okay.
knows.
Madonna said it in the 1990s. So
Well, me and Madonna have the same brain then.
yeah. Yes, but back to our
We
lovely.
all have the same brain. That's
Yes.
the key to all of this. Okay.
Back to our Valentina Sampaio and,
Yes.
and just the joy she's feeling, but also some of the backlash.
Yeah. Well, you know what? First, let's focus on the positive because those two out transgender female models could not be out and proud on a few years ago on the stage at Victoria's Secret. So
No, right.
this is such a triumph for transgender
And a great
visibility.
comeback.
So yeah, it's so great, and I'm so proud of them. I'm glad that they're happy. Like you guys were saying, the trolls are going to troll, basically, especially on Twitter because it's just the doldrums. And
Yeah.
But I do think that this is something that we need to take pride in and kind of put the haters to the side because they will complain about anything, honestly. And it's their job to stir up this controversy. So we got to learn to ignore them. I know it's very easy to feed into that negativity, but we got to rise above. That's
Yeah.
who we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I will say one thing. I did see images of the show and video of the show.
Yeah.
And I never saw anything about being trans. So all I saw were beautiful human beings
Exactly.
modeling. And
Right.
then I saw Tyra, and then I saw Cher, and then I read about two of the human beings were trans. And I was like,
That's
oh,
a
they
really
were? I didn't
great-
even know. So
Yeah.
it wasn't even, so to have that trolled is so weird.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even register it to begin with.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either, too. I was just like, all beautiful women. They all look great. It looks classic and on and on. So, yeah.
Can I tell you a weird, stupid joke?
Yeah, go
I used
ahead.
to work at Sun Valley Mall.
Okay.
And I had this girl named Jessica who was a friend of mine, and she worked at Victoria's Secret, and I worked at Benetton, and we were like the rooster and the coyote every morning. We'd walk by each other, and I'm like, hey, Jessica, how's Victoria? She has the secret. How's Benetton? We have many colors. And then we'd have lunch. And we did it every day. Sorry. So every time I think of Victoria's Secret, that is my connection.
And Benetton is always so funny for me to hear, just
I
because it
love
was
my
so
Benetton.
popular
It
in
was.
the 80s.
And those ads were everything.
But, you go to Europe. I just saw stores on Benetton.
They're
still
everywhere,
there.
especially in Barcelona.
Yeah, you look at I'm like, oh my God, that's
I
still
just
around.
went traveling. You guys will appreciate this. And when I got home, Peter bought me something that we saw in the window on 8th Avenue. On 8th Avenue, right above like 17th Street, there's like a poster store that has all vintage posters. And they're online as well. You know the one I'm talking about. They have
Yes.
like an
Oh, yeah, no, I know what you're
iOS
talking
tile,
about.
right?
Right.
And they had a 36 by 18 original Benetton ad of the priest and the nun kissing.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
And we bought it. So it's going to be in the it's going to be in our bedroom.
That's
soon.
gonna
Oh
just
my
say.
God. And maybe for our Patreon, we could give a video tour of your place.
Oh,
when
I would
it's
do that.
ready.
Yeah,
Okay,
I haven't
I'm
done that in a while. And we have so
You heard
many
it
new
here.
things.
Oh.
Especially and just like that room. Like, it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, well, recently there was an article that was a modern guide to cruising etiquette. So there's actual etiquette that's out there in the digital age. And they were talking about how, obviously cruising's been around forever. Cruising RuPaul has said that disco never died. It's just changed its address, which I thought was very cool. And then, but in the modern day, we have sniffies, which is like a different version of cruising, but online. And then there's, but recently it's come to mind that places like sniffies, people are capturing the location of like a pump and dump group sex party and putting online, once again on Twitter, 54 people are at this spot and making kind of snarky comments. The gays are even doing that.
What?
But fortunately, Sniffies the CEO has said, no, don't worry. At least they didn't list any of the actual people. And we tend to move the quadrants around, so it's not telling exactly where you're at. But that would really be shaming people,
Oh,
I think.
definitely.
But they did come out with some top 5 cruising tips, and then we can discuss. Number 1 is cruising isn't typically a slow and or scheduled activity. So in other words, it's usually you want it right now. You're trying to find somebody in the moment, which I think is better than the apps. Number 2, eye contact is a prominent method of communicating in cruising. And I would argue with that one, so many people, dare I say, the younger generations are so on their phones that there's not a lot of eye contact from the younger generation, I would say, but you need that in cruising.
But they're not cruising because they don't know how.
They don't know how, but
We need to teach classes.
and if you're cruising on sniffies, are you really cruising? It's just a modern way of cruising, but you're saying I'm at, the Macy's bathroom, but that's a form of cruising, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that because they have I didn't mean to interrupt the list, but we should go one by one as we go.
Yeah.
Because they have issues with eye contact, it's kind of nice that there is a sniffies thing happening for them, which means that they are cruising just in their own way.
in a digital
You know what I
way.
mean? In a digital way, and then
Yeah.
get there. Because once you meet that person off the app, then where does the eye contact?
Yeah.
This still has to
happen.
come into play.
When
Yeah.
you were younger, did you guys have trouble looking at people in the eye directly? I used to have I used to get nervous, and I would
No.
look away. And
I still
I've
do.
gotten so much better. Oh, now I'm totally. I mean, I talk
No,
to
I have
everybody in
issues.
this building, and I'm like, the town mayor
I'm
here.
very shy. Did you guys know that?
You are a little bit shyer in sometimes
I
when
have
we
shy
go out.
moments,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I look at people in the eye, and I also know the power of me looking at people in the eye, which deems me an asshole often, because I have a very strong look. I'm not a small man, and
Right.
if we don't get the little Botox, then people think I'm angry. So with there's a power to that.
I get rid of those lines too.
Yeah, you have to.
I don't like them.
I'm
It's
going
like
next
creasing
week.
a piece of paper. The more
Yeah.
you do it, the
I
longer it's going to be
know.
there. Okay, what was
Well,
number 3?
did you want to say anything on eye contact and cruising?
Yeah, just as
Don't look
it's
at me.
necessary. And I have difficulty with it, but I go out of my way to make sure that I take up space. It's something that I've been trying to do more and more, and I've made it a more conscious effort to do that. So.
to make your presence known in a
Yes.
room. Oh,
Yeah,
that's really
because
good.
I feel like I have shrunk myself for a
Come
very
on,
long
life
time.
coach.
I know, right? Who would have thought?
No, it's true. Yeah.
is.
Instead of being a wallflower, I think
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah.
Dress to undress, not to impress. So cruising is not about putting on that Vivian
So are we
Westwood.
talking about park cruising or
They're going
Mainly.
back to old school cruising.
like in a
this
park
article.
cruising? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Then
Or
I'm
a
on subject.
bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Or a
if
rest
you're
stop.
leaving a good, high class, important event,
Yeah.
and you're walking through a park,
Ooh.
and you're cruising, and you happen to be wearing something. I mean,
Yeah.
there is cruising on the fly,
Right.
And then there's I'm gonna pack poppers and lube and head to the park.
Well,
cruising,
good
which
point.
those are two, and I think that both
Or
can happen. They used to happen a lot more.
I
but
know.
They happen in
Yeah.
Berlin.
Yeah.
Guys, I was saying this when I got back. Guys, men look at men in the eye there, and they will not let go. You have to let go first. It's very strong,
they
very beautiful.
enrapture you. Yeah, enrapture
Yeah.
you.
That sounds
Bro-
so hot.
Prospect
so-
Park, though, in Brooklyn, still, I go with my friend and I see there's a lot of cruising in those mountainous regions in the park.
Oh yeah.
Really, I'm funny because I'm going to be running for Vakaya next week, the red light district, and the manager for the red light district.
Oh, fun.
Which
Sexy.
will be a designated space. It's funny because it's normally known for weddings at this venue, but they're turning it into RLD.
That makes sense.
I will be managing it, but I have a different look for every day.
word.
Because I want to create the persona of the whole thing. But I was looking at a lot of my options. I'm like, because I'll get breaks here and there, and I'll be able to go through and do my own cruising. But I had this one singlet that is a unitard almost. I'm like, oh, no. And I optioned it for some other ones that have built-in zippers. So, you want functionality. If you're going to plan it, like you said,
Right.
the
Yeah.
lube, but you remind me, I need the lube.
Yeah, you need the lube.
All that stuff.
You got to make a list and you
Yes.
got to check it twice.
Absolutely. And then number 5, what happens in cruising should always stay in cruising. And that's actually one of the rules for Vakaya. It's don't come the next morning and be in the food line to get your breakfast and say, did you see such and such? Or
Oh,
did you see
that's
Steve
too
in his little number last night and who he was? So, that's always a good one, right?
Yeah,
Kinda
definitely.
What do you say to that?
I say you don't necessarily have to leave it there, but only with that person that you connected with.
Yeah.
So I feel like gossip is totally out of the question. But if you feel like you made a connection, you know what? I'm a romantic, and if you suck my dick in the alley, then maybe we could be married someday.
Oh.
Oh,
So
I'm that way too. No.
Yeah.
I haven't done cruising in a long time, but I remember throughout my life, I started playing in bathrooms way too young.
Me too.
And when you're that young, every dick is really big.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, because you're so small. And there were men that I still have crushes on that when it pops into my head, like I see a porn or something and they remind me of the guy in 1989 in the men's room that we used to see each other for like 3 years. We saw each other in and out of that restroom, right? Because it was when I worked in the mall and going to high school and going to college and going to junior college. And like some of these people, it's weird. I've never thought of this until this moment. Some of these people I have played around and shot a load with more than people I've dated.
What?
Wow.
Well, because there was nothing online.
You weren't on a bar. You couldn't
You
go
weren't
to
in a bar. I was too young.
Yeah.
I was like 17 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would go and you would see someone at a mall and then know what restroom they would be at. And then you would play around there with either someone new that had never been there before or just you and that person and walk away. So if you do that once a week or once every other week for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I went away on vacation, whatever. But like, you know what I mean? Like you think about like that's kind of insane.
It is.
And then that culture. Well, then we hit the AIDS virus in California. So that culture, and I wanted to say two things about did we hit 5?
Yes, that was
good. Two things is one. I keep bringing up Berlin. I don't mean to be that guy, but I'm being the Berlin guy. I did not know that much like in Central Park in New York, there is a big park, not only Tear Garden, but also a park by a lake. That during the pandemic, they really had a resurgence of outdoor cruising, and people were with masks in Berlin, and it's so gay man dominant that culture is still living even today. There's a book about it that
really?
my friend just gave as
Coffee
a birthday
table?
gift. No, it's like a flip book.
Okay.
And I text him to see when I get it, I'll tell you so that people can look at
Please.
it. Also, funny, this person who's going to text me the book, Michael, because I'm talking about you, last night we went over his boyfriend Brad's birthday, and in the morning I woke up and I was like, because we all went to Berlin together, like cruising's part of the culture. I woke up yesterday morning and got a text message that last night there was a cruising sex party in the Ramble starting at dusk, ending at 1 a.m.,
Wow.
And I'm not on Sniffies or any of that, but when I was with them, I was like, they pulled it up and they're like, oh yeah, there's like 28 people in the Ramble right now on Sniffies. I was like, oh my God, it's working.
I love it.
This was a play party that I went to pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
That I'm still on their mailing list.
Oh, wow.
Fun, right? So the culture is very much alive.
I love it. Yes, exactly. I mean,
Just to backtrack really quick,
Yes.
though, I love the idea of porn dick reminding you of actual experiences that you have.
Yeah.
We should coin that. Either porn jabu or
That's good.
Oh.
or pornstalgia. What do you think of that one?
Oh.
Wow,
Both
those are good.
Really,
No,
I like
think
that.
it-
Let's let the listeners decide on that, listeners. Why don't
I
you
like
tell
that.
us
Ooh, cool.
which one,
I like
and we
it.
will post it.
Porn
That's a good
nostalgia.
one.
But you've had that happen,
I've definitely
right?
had that happen. It's fantastic.
There are also a few porn stars that I watched on video in San Francisco, moved to New York, played with them at the Chelsea Gym on 8th Avenue, became friends with them, played with them at La Nouvelle Justine when we had the S&M
wow.
restaurant on
Yeah.
23rd Street, because my boyfriend was a waiter there. So played with the same porn star there, completely lost contact, and have recently found them on Facebook.
Wow.
And I'm seeing their world now on Facebook. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
That's a whole nother porn nostalgia thing. Because I don't. Can I say their name?
Yeah.
Donnie Russo. Do you remember Donnie Russo?
Wait, I think I
Google him right now.
Yeah,
Donnie
I
Russo,
know.
1989 or whatever. Donnie DONNIERUSSO.
You know how that is.
I remember him.
Oh, you already know, Kodi. Let's just see. Is this him?
I used to see him at the Lure. I used to see him at the Eagle. He's
hot
Oh, is it
fucking
this little
man.
Is it this little picture here, the one on the top?
on the left.
Can you click on it? I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Oh, here.
There we go.
Yeah, that's Donnie.
Super
Ooh.
hot.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Super masculine and yeah.
Mustache.
Everyone Google Donnie Russo. Everyone look at his old porn.
Yes, exactly.
Also another porn stalia. That's not what you said.
Porn nostalgia.
Porn
Yes.
Nostalgia.
What was the first one?
That
Porn,
was the
porn shabu.
Porn Javu. I think Porn Javu I like. I don't know. They're both really
They're
good.
both good.
Have you ever seen the movie Dynastud?
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
I still have it on video
For
at my
all
house.
those Dynasty fans.
And
yes.
then when they went up in the plane and
Yes.
they had a boy on a spinning
Oh,
footrest.
what do we call that?
I don't know.
Like
Like
lazy
a-
Susan?
But it was when you put your feet up at a chair?
Yeah.
A hasset? What is that thing?
Lazy
You know,
Susan?
You know,
like the foot thing.
The footrest.
shave?
A footrest.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
they spun him around, and the pilot came out from the fucking
To do 'em.
cockpit. Yeah, amazing.
Wow.
Everyone, look at Dynastud.
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 I'm writing all these down.
Amazing.
Danny
Who was
Russo
flying
and
the plane?
Dynastud.
It went on autopilot. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah. Well, the gays are asking recently, what little things make you lose interest in a guy? And they were all pretty petty, but it struck up a huge thread of things coming. Somebody said, my boyfriend of a year just told me he believes the hurricanes that have hit the southern eastern part of America are man-made and a conspiracy of the government.
Girl.
That would actually probably, if I started hearing
That's
conspiracy,
halfway.
if I started,
They are man-made, but not. We
Well-
didn't have a plan.
yeah. If I started hearing conspiracy theories from my boyfriend, I would be like, oh, because we all have a few friends that have those friends that believe in a lot of conspiracy.
Okay. I
It
was gonna
depends
say
on the
something not good.
conspiracy theory, though. I mean,
Yeah, but I
Trump
have to-
assassination. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway.
So they were,
Illuminati.
large. A lot of them had to do with food. Food was a biggie. That the guy was great. They loved hanging out with them, but they were like the loudest chomper ever.
Oh, yeah.
And food can be, or somebody else had a whole thing that when they realized what their diet was, they ate 0 vegetables. That would be a hard one for me too, because I love vegetables so much. And they just kind of went on and on. People went down rabbit holes. But are there any little things that come to mind, Kodi, that just a deal breaker, or you just go?
Yeah. I went on a date one time with a guy, very nice. We went to a lovely restaurant. It was fancy. He paid for everything. He was charming, witty. Then we went back to his place, and I hadn't noticed this when we were on the date. But we went back to his place. It's cute. And then he raised his armpits, and there were just large holes. It was the first date, like holes all underneath his armpit in his shirt.
No, like
I thought there were holes in his body.
No,
I was
not
like,
in his
get him
body.
to the hospital. What is happening? You have no empathy, you asshole. He had
I don't.
surgery.
It was conjuring up a certain image at first. I was
I
like,
know,
wait,
right?
what?
He had holes in his shirt, everybody.
Okay.
And I just thought that was the ultimate offense.
Was it fashion?
It was not fashion.
Just
It was an
checking.
old ratty T-shirt, and it would have been fine if we had been dating.
Did he look
for-
amazing in it?
He looked horrible. But I didn't really notice while we were on the date. But if we would have been on a 5th date or a 10th date, anything like that, it would have been fine. But the first date, you dress to impress. And if you think a ratty underarm hole T-shirt is going to win me over, then no, sir.
No, that's like, that would be a deal breaker. My boyfriend's really good at he's very basic in the way he dresses. Cute T-shirts. It's always, he takes multiple showers. He's always clean when he comes over, and I just love it. But if I saw that would be
Hard no.
Before I'll do mine next. I was dating this guy in L.A. that he drove a Hummer, and this is like in the early 2000s. And already I was kind of like, a Hummer, really? He had road rage and was like, we'd be going to go get sushi, and he's like honking, and we're in a Hummer.
that's a problem.
And he's like, tailgating people, and then we went into West Hollywood, and it was a Saturday day, and people are having brunch, and he sees somebody on the corner there that he knows in front of Starbucks, and it's like the Starbucks where every gay goes. I was mortified. He pulls up loud, music's cranked up. He rolls down my window because I'm in the passenger seat and is shouting,
Oh, God.
hey girl, to this friend of his, mortified. I was like, no, I can never be with this person again. And he was hot, but that was deal breaker. And it seems small, but to me, it's not.
I don't think that that's small. I think that is a red flag for how his behavior is going to be in the relationship.
I think it's but we're talking, is this article about first dates or first 5 dates or something like that?
That was the last word.
Because chewing while making noise about like Peter and a bag of potato chips, get a fucking bowl. Just put it in a bowl.
My mom is so like, my mom doesn't like me eating popcorn out of the bag.
Just put it in the bowl.
She's like, don't get a bowl. And I'm
it's
like,
so
okay,
loud.
Mom.
So something like that, like on a first or second date, is one thing. But my 2 stories that came to mind is I was dating someone, maybe a third date. They came over. We ordered in sushi, and the way he treated the guy who delivered the sushi was so rude that I was like, okay, first of all, I'm never ordering sushi from there again because I'm so embarrassed, and you got to go. So then we had sex one more time, and then that's fine.
That's a number one thing that people complain about is rude to wait staff.
Oh, really?
And,
good. So I got it.
And it's a real good temperature
I'm going to flip it on its back. So then there was a client that I had, the waiter that always took the order from Protein Bakery. Him and I flirted for a while, and then we went out on a date. And this is so horrible, but he was
I can't wait to hear this.
Slight. He wasn't a big man, and his penis was not overly big.
Okay.
And then he started writing me poetry.
Oh, that's so cute.
Is it cute or?
And then he informed me he was a top, and I was like, it was great. It was like dating a Merchant Ivory film.
Well, wait. When you say poetry, would you get like letters, like sealed up?
He would leave them in the apartment. I know. Which is why we're great friends.
Were they good poems?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, they weren't bad. They were just like. But he would also he would sit and read a book of poetry in front of me, and I'm so like, cute.
It's a little.
It's very cute for a while, and then you're like, I need to put on Oprah. I need to get my facts. I need to move on.
Did he read the poetry out loud to
Yes.
you? Naked? That sounds so hot and lovely.
I don't know.
Like he was going to top me.
Oh, yeah, no.
And that wasn't going to really happen.
It's something out of like...
it could have happened if he had come at a very different angle. Like,
okay.
I need it's like my pop stars. I need my pop stars on a crucifix and my tops in a harness. Not reading me, your eyes are as brown as the pools of love.
I mean, I hear you. Maybe
the
poem is nice.
This was also 25 years ago, so maybe now I'd be like, bring it. Like, read
right,
some poetry.
Right. Yeah, now I'm ready for it. Yeah.
I want to go at home, not listen to Chips.
Is hilarious.
And listen to an
How
audio
did you ultimately break it to him? Just that...
No, it was...
Fizzled
I make
out.
that funny, but we both... There were things about me that he was like, you're the most amazing person to not be my partner. And I wanted... You know what I mean? Like it wasn't... But to have... It also felt like, the reason I bring it up, is it feels like that partner that you want.
Yeah.
Someone who's going to write you poetry and someone who's going to be...
Right.
And then you're in the middle of it and you're like... Ooh. I feel like I'm in an MRI machine and I gotta go. I'm claustrophobic. I gotta get out.
And I can't get out of this.
Yeah,
it's like I'm stuck.
It's too thick, too much. And going on a date, if I'm a big man who's very loud, I might reach across someone and go, "Hey, girl," on a car.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that at the beginning.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That was the problem. I would be a little bit more conservative, and then hopefully we would date long enough that you would turn to me and say, "Hey, we're going to get there 2 minutes earlier, so you don't need to be as aggressive fighting. And please don't shout at me over my passenger seat. Oh, my
God, I know.
Because
Mortified.
I love you and you love me, and because you've had some time together, I don't like that. There's smoothing out the rough edges. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's a new study that we love studies here on the show.
It's like a poll. Here we go.
Here we go.
We take polls.
That finds people with dark personalities are drawn to each other. And it was done by the personality and individual differences. People with dark personalities often seek relationships with partners who exhibit the same traits. Researchers learn these attributes are typically present in both parties, and they're found early on in the relationship. So, dark personalities but it went on to say that people actually attract each other that are similar to each other and personalities are similar to each other. And it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing if two dark personalities end up together too, because they have found in the study that they actually have long-lasting relationships. But I'll just start with myself. I mean, my boyfriend now, he's very positive and upbeat, which I really love about him. I find I'm very upbeat too. I couldn't be with somebody that's very dark and
What do we
moody. They didn't go into what dark really meant, but
Okay.
maybe not so upbeat and positive and maybe
I don't
more.
know if that's the same definition.
Yeah, I wish they would have said a little bit
Yeah,
more.
it's-
What would you? If first of all,
Well, I am very Wednesday Addams. I am a very dark person. I like everything macabre. But it's like
is
saying
Peter?
you're into Tim Burton.
Yeah.
There is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
Right.
Tim Burton, and then there's like Mars Attacks Tim Burton, or the more gruesome
Beetlejuice
stuff. Yeah. So, and I have my cousin Misty, her and I, like right now we are in Halloween Beetlejuice heaven, and Wicked is coming, and that's also kind of dark and mysterious, right?
Yeah. Oh well,
I do think that's one thing, but
that is.
also
I'm more on that. Yeah.
being depressed, unmotivated, that's not really dark. That's more of a. That's why we need to know
Yeah.
the clarity of it.
Right.
Because I do tend to also, because I'm so into the dark world, witchcrafty world, I also, even Catholicism, I also love to, I'm very positive and I meditate every day and I always bring something
Right.
to the world every day.
Marianne Williamson.
Yeah, I'm not I'm a motivator. I'm not a motivatee. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I get up and go, and so that's
Yeah,
to
I guess
balance
the
my-
definition.
that's
it
what's
would,
weird.
It would be nice to know a little bit more about the definition. Well, actually, I do have some pointers on the Journal of Personality. Found that people with dark personality traits, especially narcissism and psychopathy, feel more satisfied in relationships with partners who exhibit similar dark traits. So, narcissism is put in there and psychopathy.
And what was the second one?
Psychopathy.
What is that?
I don't know what that really is
Are we just going to
either.
keep saying the word, or should we know what it is? I don't know what it is.
Psychopathy or psychopathy?
Psychopathy.
Okay.
What is that?
I
A
don't know.
psychopath? Yeah. I'll just go off on a tangent. I've been with people, both his friends, family, and intimate relationships that have mental issues that require medication. So, like, that is, if you're with someone like that, you also have to be understanding for what they're going through.
You do. You would
Right?
hopefully know that early on. It says psychopathy or psychopathic personality is a personality construct characterized by impaired empathy and remorse in combination with traits of boldness,
Okay.
yeah.
Your
So now I
face, though.
completely disagree with this article. I do
I'm
not
glad we got
think
a little
that
clarity.
two psychopaths being in a relationship together is a good idea.
That was
I
one
think that
thing.
there is a
It's-
balance.
Yeah. They didn't.
But
this
you
was-
just said they attract each other.
Yeah.
Isn't that the result of the quote unquote study? Again, how many people were in
Yeah,
the study?
right.
Where was the study done? How old were the people who took the study?
Well, the study
Were
also
they
didn't
gay?
feature gay men.
Yeah,
it
did
didn't.
not?
Okay,
So.
I quit.
Oh, throw it in the trash.
Throw it
Well,
in
I know.
Burn the episode.
But let's just
We're everything
before we
valid.
throw it in the toilet.
Okay.
Just I didn't give you a chance to say anything about this. So.
Yeah, I think that we as people and human beings both have light and dark sides to our personality. I feel like I have dark sides to my personality as well. But if you ask somebody, and I have because I've asked somebody at my new workplace recently, what type of presence I give off, they said I was very nice, and I was like, I am a complete and utter bitch. So, so I do understand that there
You
are
have moments where you like retreat. I've been out with you, and you'll just like kind of
It
retreat
depends.
for
We're
a little
human.
while.
We're
Yeah,
human.
We all ebb and
we
flow.
have so many facets to our personality, but yes, sometimes I need to go into my shell and hide a little
do
bit
too.
and recover.
See, I feel like the minute I leave my front door, it's like I'm on stage. And I have to just, from makeup, hair, whatever, all of it, and my personality, I've got to be on, or I won't go out. Like I've just always felt that way. Just my mom taught me that too. Like you just put on that, and it's genuine. It's not like I'm faking
Oh, yeah,
it. But
no.
if I
That
don't,
is slowly gone away for me.
Yeah.
And it really changed at my last birthday.
Oh, okay.
I don't give a fuck right now.
Wow.
I'm going to go from point A to point B, and this is I know I always look good. I'm not going to go out
Yeah.
with my hair. This mustache takes 20 minutes.
I was going to say, he's
just work
rocking
with me.
a really hot mustache.
Like, I'm still going to, I always present,
Yeah.
but I'm not on stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't need that, especially after my last birthday. But I did just think about if this article is true.
Yeah.
2, what are they called again?
Psychopaths?
That's called gun control.
Girl.
Yeah.
Okay, like gun
Narcissism.
control. Narcissistic psychopaths should be together, or they do well together. No, they go well together in blowing up a school. This is not a good study. I believe.
Yeah. I mean, this relating both of the stories, the last one and this one, I do. If somebody doesn't ask me enough about me, like if I'm finding that I'm always asking about their day and what they're doing, then that can be a problem.
Yeah.
I think it's also we're talking about different things because how long have you been in your relationship, Steve?
5 months.
Okay, and single? Question. Okay, so Cody's in his usual blur, and you're 6 months in.
Yeah.
So when we talk about this,
Yeah.
is this in the first 6 months, which
Right.
would be your thing? Is it in a blur of people you
It's
know that you've
it's
been,
complicated.
That
It's complicated
and,
with someone
if
I have
all
dated
of a sudden
before.
someone's eating out of a chip bag, do you automatically kill them?
So-
or do you go, you're a psychopath, I need to be with someone else?
Can I say that I am the loud eater, and sometimes with my
Are you a
complications,
chomper?
sometimes I'm chewing so loud that
Oh,
I
no.
feel like I get on my own nerves. Okay,
I think I've been around you and eating.
so I have seen I love this person for loving me through my loud eating. So that's what I want to put out here.
Oh,
on the podcast.
he doesn't care.
He does not care.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
See, that's the type of person.
And that's nice because eating is one thing, but I know in general I'm a very loud person.
Oh yeah,
and
me
I
too.
do roar
And so are they.
quite often.
And so that's why.
And that's the beauty of you, though. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a loud person.
There's
I think.
nothing. Well,
No.
it is when it's counterproductive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you don't realize how counterproductive it is because you're so passionate in the point you're trying to make. And then all of a sudden you've alienated people that are no longer listening to you.
Okay.
So if you're communicating to be listened to,
You've
it
lost
is not
that.
a good thing.
I hear
You've
the
lost-
counterproductive
you've lost
side of it.
Now,
that it can be.
on the same conversation, I've had friendships in my life that have said, if you could be a little smaller, it would help me because I feel drowned out by your personality or by how big you are or what a person like.
Ooh,
One
how
of
did
my
that
friend-
roll? How did that?
One of
sit
my
with
friends
you?
said going to the Eagle with you is like going to Disneyland with Mickey.
Yeah.
Because you say hi to the doorman.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you say hi to every bartender, and then 20 people know you, and all of a sudden I disappear and I go home and I cry. And that makes me feel bad. So if you could be a little smaller, that would be great. And that's been since high school. I've had that come and go as a voice in my head. And that is funny. Me attracted to darker people who might need a little bit more uplifting, thinking I could not save them, but lift them.
Yeah.
But if you're dark, like they're talking about in this study, sometimes it backfires and they double down on getting darker because
They go further
making a
into
shadow
their
over
hole
you.
of darkness.
I'm no longer friends with these people.
I mean,
Okay,
I was
good,
just going
yeah.
to say, don't shrink yourself for
Let
anybody.
me just say, I'm no longer
out
friends
of-
with these people, but I also have not blocked them from anything.
Yeah, of course.
Because
not.
I'm a human being.
But
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you deserve to be who you are as a person. Maybe if they need to take a break from you, like if they say to you, I love you, I'm going to go take a little traipse around and be to myself, that's perfectly fine. But to tell you to be smaller is ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is. Actually.
It's funny because all of a sudden we're having therapy with
I
Lincoln
know.
on Tuesday night with a glass of wine. Everybody calm down.
What a nice surprise. We have Peter in the studio joining us.
I know.
love that.
Yesterday was our 6-year and 10-month anniversary.
What?
We celebrate the 20th of every month. I've said this story on this maybe before, that when I had my first date with Peter, it was December 20th. And whatever I said to my mother about the date, on January 20th, she said, happy 1 month. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, it was December 20th. 120 is 1 month. It's so easy to remember.
Yeah.
So ever since then, we've been doing 220, 320, 4 years and 320. That kind of thing. And so it's always bringing
And I'm the
Gloria
19th
a
now.
little back.
Oh, Gloria.
Yeah, it's a little Gloria.
We salute Gloria. Yeah. I'm I'm only 6 months in, but
First
I'm the
date
19th,
is the 19th?
of my new relationship.
Oh, yeah. And it was
So,
6 months on
Yeah.
10, 19?
Yes, exactly.
That's
the
great.
other day. So, yeah.
I like that. That it's like
Yeah.
you're going to buy a dinner or a drink or a theater or something anyway. Why not make it on the 20th and celebrate your anniversary?
There
That's
you go.
what makes it of
Yeah,
every month,
right,
or
exactly.
whatever the date is.
Okay, well, recently
It's
there
not
was
poetry, but it's something.
It's something.
Out Magazine did We Love When a Twink Gets Older, and they were rolling the eyes of Twink Death, which apparently is a thing online, of a Twink Death, when somebody ages out of being a twink anymore. And there's a lot of celebrities in the past that started out younger, that we all know, including Wilson Cruz as a twink, who was adorable back when he was doing My So-Called Life.
Yeah.
And then
He went on to do Rent.
Yeah.
Rent, yeah. He
he
played
he's Angel.
Angel, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris is it
Appleton.
Appleton,
Yeah.
who, the whole marriage debacle that
Was he a twink ever?
Well, I
Not
guess
a
he was
Twinkie
at one
photo.
point, and then this is how he looks now, and I'll put these on
He looks the
TAGSPodcast. Ricky Martin,
30 in both pictures.
of course, in the Menudo days or General
Yeah.
General Hospital. as
They
I
better not
remember.
be throwing him any shade about
No, they're actually
graduating. Okay.
The article's actually saying let's get rid of Twink Death and actually let's celebrate ages.
Yeah.
Because look at how some of these have really aged well.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, that's
is
fun.
Working out now. Jonathan Groff is only in his late 30s, so I wouldn't call him the end of Twink Death. But he was much younger, but it got me thinking, and I recently posted my own when I was a twink, and I was on the cover of
Odyssey magazine.
Odyssey magazine
That's so
in
fun.
San Francisco, and I posted, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, twink!" And I'm obviously no longer haven't been a twink in a million years.
What age do you age out of being a twink, though?
So for like me, this was in I would think I was 23 about at that age, and I don't know. I looked young for years and years, like really young, forever.
I mean, I look young now. I look really young now.
Okay, but please don't say you look like a
Do you?
There's a mirror behind you, sweetie, if you want to like get up close. But no, I've embraced. I don't know when it happened. It just happened, and of course, like when I posted this picture, it was like people were like reminded, "Oh my God, how young you looked." Did
Yeah.
you have a period where you kind of aged out of it? Did you have a twink death?
I don't
And
think
we mean it's a positive thing because
Yeah.
you're a handsome man today.
At 23. I do not think that I aged out of being a twink. I don't know if I ever really was a twink, honestly.
I seen some old pictures of you on
And I was a twink
Facebook, and
then?
you were pretty twinky.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
cute, adorable. Those no facial hair. I think you didn't have, right?
I feel like I've had facial hair since I was in high school. And I feel like that's why I don't think I was a twink at all.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I was always really hairy. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think like I'm too hairy right now because it's only intensified. So I think my twink death would have probably been in my 30s, honestly, if I ever had one.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But how about you, Lincoln?
Well, my marker. It's so funny. This happened today. I was at my bakery, and on the way out, there's like a press wall, and on the way out, there was a party of like 8 girls in the bakery, all talking about like, "Oh my God, they're so great! Look at this, look at that!" And on the way out, she turned and she said, "Look at you," because they noticed the photos of me more current by the register. Oh. And on the way out, she said, "Look at you, little hottest bachelor in People magazine." So I think this is my twink.
God, we're just
Right,
looking
yeah,
at.
that's when I was hottest bachelor in People magazine.
Wait,
So you could put that up online if you want. I was also straight in the article, but that's a very
Wait, this is
different-
you.
Tell another
That's me.
one.
oh my God! It's so
Steve is gobsmacked.
I'm
in
a little
front of me.
gobsmacked.
Lincoln.
I'm a little gobsmacked.
And do you want to know what's crazy?
Are you gobsmacked?
I thought I was fat, and I was sweating like a hooker in church the entire photo shoot through that white shirt. If you go to Protein Bakery and click on
the Instagram,
but inside the kitchen, fresh press. No, not Instagram. The website.
Protein Bakery.
Lincoln, you are a twink here.
I'm a twink there. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And that was not in my mind at all. I had a lot of work to do.
I would have turned you over and bred you in 2 seconds.
Oh gosh. Kodi, we have a whole new dimension to our
inside the kitchen
relationship. Inside the kitchen, I think. And fresh press.
Oh, fresh press. Yeah.
Fresh press.
Yes,
Everyone
that
can
is
read it online.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're so handsome today, but you almost look like a different person.
You
to
really
me.
do.
I
mean,
actually
like,
wish I would have.
I mean,
known.
it doesn't really look like.
I think it's because you have no facial hair. Because I can see the structure of your face being the same.
I don't know. It's like, there's like
Very
actresses that look very different, and and this might relate to you. And you were living with your partner for a while. Any long-term couples who don't cohabitate? I need my own space and prefer to live by myself, but it seems most guys intend to move in after a while. For those who don't cohabitate, how did you guys make this work? You've lived together, Kodi,
Yes.
and how did it? And after a couple years, you moved in together.
After a year, we moved in together, and I would.
Would you recommend it or not?
I definitely recommend it. I love
Really?
living with my significant other. I think that it only intensifies relationship. I'm staying over this person's house quite often now.
Right.
So I think that it only helps to bridge and form the connection that you have as a partner. So for me personally, I can see how it would not do that for other people. Maybe people need their space or what have you.
Yeah.
But I don't need space. I read an article today, and they were saying that they need time to themselves, that they need to recuperate from being around people and things of that nature. But I personally don't need that. When it comes to my partner, I feel like I can be around them constantly. I can be cuddling them constantly. I feel like I could just be doing
Wow. See, for me,
everything all
what's
the time.
working in my relationship now is that he's so busy. I travel a ton, and we make time for each other. But he lives in Long Island. I live in New York City. And, we see each other throughout the week. But he's an independent person. I need my space to, maybe years down, if we're still together, which hopefully we will be, I would consider that. But I would have to move to like a house or something. And
Yeah.
I couldn't do it in a small, tiny apartment. I don't think I could do it.
You could
wow.
do it.
I guess so. Oh, how about you?
It's such a funny topic because I have had many relationships, and Peter is now sitting to my right.
He
So you
is.
can't say anything
Hi, honey. I
you
love
don't want to
you.
take home with you.
And now we need your expert opinion on exactly.
Through the years of Stephen Lincoln's life, I have learned lessons. And I will say, I've said this on this show before, and I'm not here every week, so I'm going to reiterate it for you who didn't hear it. When I turned 45, I had a bit of a meltdown and was like, I need to be single for a while because I've lived from 20 to 45 trying to make a relationship work, and it's either me or it's the person or it's the formula. I need a break. And I just took a fucking break. And through those years up to 45, I was like, I'm not going to live with someone so quickly. I'm not going to jump right in. They have to have a 401k. They have to have all the drama and chutzpah. They have to be legal.
The gay version of the rules.
They have to not be an actor. They have to not be a hair. Like for me,
It sounds like the rules. Remember the rules?
Remember the rules?
Yeah.
For me,
Never
it was
were.
like they need to know what a play party is. They need to know what a back room is. They need to have been in Europe. They could be like.
Do they need to know the difference between a play and a musical? Because
No, but they need to
you
know.
know what people call a musical a play?
Yeah.
I'm always like, it's a play.
They need to know the difference between a cast recording and a soundtrack.
Oh, wow. That's so specific. Well,
Do not fuck with me, right? And then I fucking met Peter, and it all went out the goddamn window,
See,
and
that's how
all
it
of a sudden,
happens.
pandemics are happening, and people are moving in, and mothers are dying, and dogs are dying. Like,
Oh my God.
so all I could say is whatever the topic was,
Yeah.
which I've had far too much wine to
Yeah.
remember it. You hold with your standards, but then you meet
Yeah.
someone and you
Right.
go,
Yeah, you make it
know
work."
what? This is going to be a puzzle that's probably going to take longer than I want to deal with, but we can finish the puzzle
Yes.
Yeah.
because
'Cause
I love you.
That's right. And at the end of
You're
the
right.
day,
Because
Yeah,
you
because
have
I love you.
my.
But don't eat the chips out of the bag. Get the
No.
fucking bowl.
Oh, do you?
eat your
Oh, you just.
You're going to have to listen to the podcast because we talked about it earlier.
well, I just want to say, at the end of the day, it's more about the person than it is about any of those other things that you mentioned. So
It
you met
is.
somebody that you love and that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Go ahead.
But I will also say, as I get older, and Peter and I, like I said earlier, have been together now going on 7 years. As an older man, sure, there were things that, like if Peter and I didn't work out, I would be like, oh, I wish I would have remembered that in the beginning because then I wouldn't have been so hurt right now. But we had so many years together. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So for older guys, gay guys that are out there, maybe in their 50s, 60s, 70s, try not to beat yourself up over breaking those rules because sometimes it still works out and sometimes it fucking doesn't.
Yeah, there's
And
no
I'm sorry
science,
it didn't work
and
out.
there's no poll that can.
Yeah,
find
there's
this
no
out, and-
poll that can figure it out or no one
Study
else's
or-
opinion because it's everyone's heartbeat is the same, but our experiences are different.
Yeah,
and
and
that's
that's
what
the
we have to
beauty.
just
Yeah.
honor for a minute. right?
Absolutely,
And
good.
me and Madonna have the same brain.
You did, well, and
That is a high compliment. So I would take a moment.
I love it.
Lastly, we just have to shout out a couple music things. Cher was inducted to the Rock and Roll
Yay,
Hall of Fame.
really?
And did you see Dua Lipa? I'm just gonna. What
So-
do we think about Cher? And isn't that
Cher
great?
sounds amazing.
Yeah,
To be whatever age she is, she sounds fantastic.
she does. She sounds like Cher. And then lastly, we just have to shout out to Sir Ian McKellen at 85, who went to London's hottest gay club and used the word gobsmacked. And look at what
did.
this says. Clubgoers were gobsmacked to
Aw.
Sir Ian at 85 on the dance floor of the hot club Roast. That is, everyone goes there.
Is that in London?
In London, yeah.
It's called Roast.
Roast, yeah.
Love it.
I know, yeah, but
probably took both
I'm,
of those
I'm
boys
going to
home,
London
too.
in
Did Gay
January,
close?
so
I think JY
Heaven,
did close.
What?
I think it did close.
So the
Heaven
word
close?
gay closed,
I don't
but
know. I think
roast
Heaven
is
closed,
still
too.
alive.
I know,
Our culture.
but look at him, 85.
That's
next
great.
to two
Yay,
dancers, and yeah,
I hope you were
Keep
spit
going.
roasted by both of them.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure he was. Like,
Yeah,
if I
right.
could say that I spit roasted Sir Ian McKellen, I totally would.
If I saw him at the dance floor, I'd be like freaked out too. I'd be like, that's so cool.
when I was in London,
Yeah.
I was at a bar. I don't remember where. I was probably completely intoxicated. Alan Cumming came into the bar. And
well, now you can see him here at
I
Club
know I
Cumming.
can see him here now,
Yeah.
but back when I was 20-something
Yeah.
at a bar in London and Alan Cumming came into the bar, it was fantastic.
Scottish,
Isn't
yes.
that such a fun feeling?
It is.
Yeah.
And it's,
No.
it's so
I remember
amazing.
at G Lounge on 19th Street, I was standing next to Nathan Lane for like 20 minutes and started to talk to him. And Alan used to take my class at Astor David
He's so
Barton.
sweet.
Alan
That
used to
is
take my yoga
exciting.
class. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
fun. I love that feeling, right?
Right?
Yeah.
It just makes you feel more, I don't know, popular, more worldly.
Connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say understood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
like,
you're
we're all
going
together.
to a place that someone else feels at home at the same place. So
Well,
you feel like
Madonna was at the
understood, right?
Billie Eilish show the other day in the 100 section at Madison Square Garden, which she sold out several nights, and she was just in the audience with her boyfriend, and I thought that was cool too. That's
great.
All right, you can always follow my co-host. You can follow Lincoln. Follow his Protein Bakery on
At
Instagram.
Protein Bakery.
At Protein
Know the.
Bakery. Yeah,
And at
Protein-
Mad Lincoln. I'm going to start
Yeah.
doing different stuff with Mad Lincoln, so start following me there.
Oh,
And
I
if
love
you have any
that.
questions about Hottest Bachelor or any of that stuff, or even like the red flags when you're
repost
older.
that Twink Death photo. We shouldn't be
Maybe
saying
we
Twink
would-
Death, but
no, I'm not.
I know
No.
it's not good, but
No,
yeah,
it's
you-
okay. But anyway,
yeah.
it's good to be back. I hope to talk again.
Absolutely. Follow Kodi. You've got an EP coming out, and I know you want people to show some love. Where do they go?
At Kodi Maurice EP. I almost got my name wrong.
Come on now.
On Indiegogo. Yeah,
It's
you
on
can
the
support me
website
there.
and in show notes.
Yes, it is. And I actually have a single that's going to be coming out pretty soon. So I want everybody to check that out. Support me. It'll be all over the place. So
I love it.
Keep
Yay.
your eyes peeled.
Okay, and follow him at Mr. Maurice
Yes.
on Instagram. Follow me on the gram, _Stevie, or go to my Twitter account at TAGSPodcast. You do get a preview of my OnlyFans over there, so check that out. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex.